Good day, this is Module 12 reporting. I am Chriselle Armira. Our title is Post-War Attempt Integration for Mindanao and Sulu. So this title refers to the Philippine government's effort after World War II to include Muslim Mindanao and Sulu into the national community. Our introduction is this topic report analysis post-World War II effort to integrate Mindanao and Sulu into the Philippines, early cooperations between Muslim and Christians, and the political participations of moral leaders suggested progress toward national unity. However, conflicts such as the Kamlon Rebellion exposed unresolved issues, leading the government investigation and new policies. The topic demonstrates how post-war integration effort influence national identity and regional development in the Philippine history. So, after the World War II, the Japanese occupations helped unite Muslims and Christians in Mindanao and Sulu through shared resistance, creating hopeful post-war atmosphere. Moral leaders actively participated in national and local government and ran for Congress in the 1946 elections, which led the government to believe that Moro were becoming integrated into the Filipino nation. So, when we say integrated, it means helping everyone to feel included in one nation. So, however, this assumption was challenged by the Kamlon Uprising in year 1951, prompting the creation of Senate Committee to investigate the cause of Moro unrest and reassess government integration policies. So, that's why the Japanese occupations helped unite Muslim and Christians in Mindanao and Sulu through shared resistance. Okay, there was a question, what was the Alonta report and how did it lead to integration programs of the Philippines government in post-war period? So, the Alonta report addressed the Moro problem after the World War II by promoting the integrations of Muslim Filipinos into the national nation. It emphasized that Moros and Filipinos should be fully included in national political and social life. The report influenced government thinking and guided post-war integration policies. So, the Alonta report was a post-war government study that examined the causes of unrest in Mindanao and Sulu, especially the Kamlon Uprising or exposure. It identified the Moro problem as the lack of integration of Muslim Filipino into the Philippine nation, and recommended their social, political, and economic inclusion. So, the report influenced Congress to pass laws and create institutions like MSU, the Commission on National Integration, and the Mindanao Development Authority or MDA to promote unity, development, and national integration in Mindanao.
What is the role of Mindanao State University in the National Integration Program? Since the task of inculcating was largely integrational, the government decided to establish an academic institution that would carry the gigantic task of educating the Muslim and other minoritized population. This institution, which is the Mindanao State University or the MSU, and this institution was made through Republic Act number 1387 and got signed into law on June 19, 1955 and signed by President Ramon Magsaysay. So, in the MSU implementation and leadership, although MSU already had a charter, its implementation was delayed mainly due to difficulties in appointing a sustainable university president. Finally, on September 1, 1961, Antonio Isidro was sworn as the first MSU president by Carlos P. Garcia. And the power and objectives of the mission in the National Integration Program is the Mindanao State University was established as an educational instrument of the government to support the national integration, particularly in Mindanao and Sulu. And its main objectives include providing higher education to Muslims or Moro and Lumads and giving minoritized groups equal educational opportunities with Christian Filipinos. And the last one, producing professional and the leaders from marginalized communities and support peace, unity through education. So, MSU as a social laboratory for integration. Aside from its academic role, MSU serves as a social laboratory for students from diverse backgrounds. And their general policy or general role in the dormitory policy, which is no two roommates were allowed to come from the same province, ensuring interaction among students of different religions, cultures, and ethno-linguistic groups. And finally, they got been successfully observed and they observe or the outcomes is increased acceptance and solidarity, formation and lasting friendship, which is um, nag ilang friendship is bigger or they have understanding each other from different cultures, and although they make friends. And the last one, reducing of prejudice or I'm sorry, prejudice or ignorance and bias among Muslim, Christians, and Lumad students. And after that, the mandate of MSU based on its charter, and this is the three general mandate of the MSU and preamble its charter. And the first one, MSU served as an instrument of the government policy in the southern region of the Philippines. And second is the MSU promote education to accelerate the integration of the national minorities, particularly the Muslims, into the Philippine body politic. And number three, MSU provides professional and technical training and conducts a research on native Filipino cultures. So, okay. So what is the integration mean in the MSU? The concept of integration in the MSU Charter does not mean assimilation or the destruction of Moro and indigenous cultures. Instead, integration refers to making Moros and indigenous people feel that they are Filipino nation and respecting and promoting their cultural and religious heritage and including their tradition as part of the broader Filipino identity. And the last one is providing equal educational, economic, and social opportunities.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Jeric C. Delphine, and today I will be continuing the discussions about the Module 12, question number 3, titled Post-War at Integration for Mindanao and Sulu. So, today, let's continue or let's proceed to our discussion. So question number 3, what was the Commission's national integrations and what became of it after more than decades of existence? Commission on National Integrations, government agencies created in 1957 and passed through 2 bills by the Philippines Congress in 1955 and later on established through Republic Act number 188 and signed by President Carlos P. Garcia aimed to integrate Muslims and indigenous people. What is the purpose of this agency? Ngano kayang agency ngayong ani? So, let be tackled about that. The purpose of this is to help the Muslims and indigenous people become a part of national community while still recognizing them as a Filipino. Kasi nga, na-behind na sila sa atin. So, a lot of Filipinos abused, neglected by the government kasi nga, hindi na nila nakikitaan ng mga problema kasi nga nakatira ang iba sa malayo why they need to integrate the Muslims and indigenous people? Because they want to improve the living conditions, education's opportunities, and for the cultural minorities. Because kani sila manggod sila, wala ni sila ka eskwela, kato ni silang mga wala ka eskwela, behind sa opportunities, educations, tanan, because mao ni sila ang national cultural minorities, kasi mao ni sila ang mga ethnic groups nga not belong to the Christianized lowland. So mao ni sila ang dili matagaan og opportunity, because one of the problems of that, because wala sila ka eskwela, wala sila pinag-aralan, and then wala pud sila natagaan og pagtagad sa atong government. So kaya gihimo nila ni nga agencies, gihimo nila ni nga batas, gihimo nila ni gihimo nila ni kay para sa ilaha to see the problems and situations of the indigenous people and Muslims. So let's proceed to another slide. So the purpose and major findings. So promote advancement and integration to minorities. So the main purpose of the CN was to promote the advancement and integrations of Muslims and indigenous people into the Philippine society. It given broad powers, so it could be addressed many issues affecting minorities, because according nga sa Manahan report, the first problems of this kasi is the land problems, education problems, livelihood, health, and transportation problems. Why? Because education was also limited budget and limited. Kasi usap po talaga ni sa problema ang education, kaya sila na behind. Kasi first kay lagyo sila balay, kasi lagyo kayo sila o kanang ginapuy-an na sila sa mga bundok. Some of indigenous people na nasa bundok, kaya lagyo kayo sila, layo kayo sila ang opportunity. Then kana ang limited ra jud pud kaayo ang mga eskwela. So with few schools pa jud, kana ang gamay lang jud ang atong eskwelahan, like gamay atong eskwelahan, layo pa jud sa ilahang ginapuy-an ang mga eskwelahan sa karon. So then livelihood opportunities, and then ang mga livelihood, dili sila matagaan og mga hinabang, because layo na kay sila, then dili na pud sila mailhan sa atong mga government. Paunsa sila matabangan og wala man galing atong government nakabalo nga naa din mga tao didto, naa din sila didto. So ang ikaduha pa jud na is kana ang health. Of course, pag ang health is the most problem jud kayo, especially pag imong balay lagyo kay sa katanan. So kana ang mao ni sila, kaya ang mga ancestor na to, mga lolag, mga lolo, kay naman yun na sa mga lagyo, naman yun na sa mga lagyo nga mga lugar, mga muyo na sa mga bukid. So dili jud dayon, kung magsakit sila, dili jud dayon sila makaadto dito sa hospital, kay ngano kay walay kanang layo ang transportations. Ang layo ang transportation, mag-hike pa sila, gikan sa bungtod, moadto pa sa ubos. Nga pag-abot pa gid sa ubos, na dagitay mga health center, but wala kayo budget, wala kay tay funds, walay walay mga tambal. So kailangan na sad sila moadto og kanang provinces, mga cities. So paunsa na lang kaya kalisod o niyato sa una, lisod na kayo, di ba? So mao jud to ang gina-encountered nga mga problems about atos, kasi ang 70s ang mga mga congressman, mga senator, kasi nagkuan sila, nagtawag ni through research. So mao jud ang ilang nakita sa mga nga kanaang problema sa ato ang mga national minorities. Mao jud ang main problems nila. So nga kailangan jud nila matagaan og pagtagad sa atong government. So let's proceed to the next topic or next slide. So achievements and declines of CNI. So help around 3,000 students through scholarships programs. So then faced problem due lack funds, creations of Panami in 1967. So, this kaning help around 3,000 students through scholarship, dako na jud kaay ni nga achievements sa CNI nga agencies kasi imagine 3,000 students through scholarship katupad yun silang mga Muslims, mga student nga mostly ani nila nga naka-graduate as Muslims finish nila ilahang eskwela through gikan sa first year to college through scholarship programs, di ba? However, the commission faced serious challenges, especially inefficient funding because which limited its programs in 1967 and creations of Panamin. Panamin stands for Presidential Assistant National Minorities or Panamin in 1967 added problems of commissions of national integrations. Kay ngano, kaning Panamin kasi is agency po siya. And then ang CNI is also agency. Ang ending ani kay nahina yung CNI, nahina yung Commission National Integrations nga agency. Kay ngano ning sulod ang Panamin. Then a lot of funds napunta dito sa Panamin kasi nga daghan o government nga naga-support dito sa Panamin. So naglibog na ang mga indigenous people, ang mga Muslims kung asa sila muadto. Asa sila muadto mga hiugtabang or sa CNI ba nga low og budget or walay fund ay wala na support walay funds, di ba? Walay funds. So and then naglibog na sila dito na nagkutaw ilang utok kung paunsa nila paunsa nila ma-solve ni nga problema kung asa ba sila but they are continued regihapon sa pag-serve sa paghimo og kanang maayo. So the CNI was continue of these duties because they are so helpful talaga kaayo sa ato ang mga indigenous people, not just indigenous people, Muslims, but all people that they are belong sa ato, belong in the Philippines, that they are not wala kayo na pagtagaan og pansin, wala kayo na tagaan og opportunity. So lindot kaayo ni sila kay kanang nindot nga agencies because makahatag yun sila og tabang sa atua. So the questions is we're going back to the question. So the question is still pabagihapon or it was the Commission on National Integration and what become of it after more than decades of existence? Naa pa ba sila diri or ga-continue ba ilang services, ga-continue ba ilang services sa mga tawo nga nangailangan nila? So ato na siyang tubagon. Yes, the CNI still serve an important purpose. Like unsa nga mga purpose, unsa nga mga important di ay jud. So para sa akong giingon ang ilahang still serve lang gyapon sila nga serve an important purpose lang gyapon. These problems which is the land problems, education problems, livelihood, health, and transportation problems. So these problems are still focuses or still gyapon sila serve this problem kay because of this makakuan sila og kanang makasolve sila sa pamumuhay ng mga tao. So that will be all my discussions all about. So thank you so much for listening and Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year. Thank you so much for watching.
Good day everyone, my name is John Philip Elibor and in this video I will be presenting a report about what was the MDA or the Mindanao Development Authority and what became of it after several years of existence. So first, let's start from how it was created, and it was created by the Republic Act 3034 in 1961, signed by the 8th former President Carlos P. Garcia in the Philippines, which came from two separate bills filed in Congress. So the MDA was filed by two separate bills. One is from the representative from the Nueva Ecija, and the another is the 11 representatives from the Minsupala region, the Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan. So the goal is to drive the Mindanao's economic development, complementing both MSU and CNI. So the MDA and the CNI work together to advance the Mindanao's economic development. So the MDA has four key principal functions. First is to draw up the comprehensive and short-term plans and programs for the regional development. So MDA's function is to create plans na paano mapaunlad ang Mindanao. So it created short-term plans and programs for the regional development, and the second is to coordinate and integrate the activities of both the public and private sectors. So it ensures that the government and the businesses, both public and private sectors, can work together na hindi magkalat sa paparating ng mga projects and mga development. So the third is to extend facilitate the extension of financial management and technical support to industrial and commercial ventures in the region. And last is to undertake by itself or joint venture with the private sector, agro-industrial commission, and pioneering ventures. So the MDA has faced challenges despite na progressive siya sa year na established during 1961. So the first challenge that he faced is the frequent leadership turnover, which is the 5 chairman, general managers, and the 3 officers in charge between the 1963 and 1973. So when you say that the frequently nagpabago-bago ng mga leaders, kaya hindi consistent ang ilang mga trabaho in the 10 years. Second is the insufficient funding. Only 24 million are paid in the capital of 1972 out of 132 million appropriated. So the government isinaad niya na 132 million ang approved budget na ibibigay sa MDA, pero pagdating sa in 1972, the MDA only received 24 million paid na budget, kaya unstable ilang funding para pag-create ng mga projects. So third is the unstable board of directors. This caused delays and disagreement and decision making, na palaging wala yung mga board of directors, absent, hindi consistent kanilang mga, palagi na lang nag-disagreement sila kasi kulang sila, walang nagdesisyon ng tama. So before its replacement, which is ang MDA may replacement siya, ang MDA na siya 7 commercial operating projects, investment in 3 private ventures. So it only mentions the numbers of the parts of the MDA's overall progress, that walang specific names or kung ano sila ang yung 7 commercial operating project and the 3 private ventures. Part lang siya sa MDA's overall progress, and pioneered a development plan to attract foreign investment. And so the context of the replacement of the MDA in 1973, the Mindanao Rebellion, region named a development priority, Mindanao Regional Development Project, or the MRDP was created by the government to build infrastructures such as highways, ports, to draw foreign capital but caused a community displacement. So during the 1973 Mindanao Rebellion, it made the Mindanao a top priority for development for the government. And also the MRDP was developed with the UNDP support led by the MDA's last manager Ernesto M. Abu. So to answer the question about what became of it after several years of existence, so the MDA was replaced by a new organization called the SPDA, the Southern Philippine Development Authority, in 1975. It was created by the government, same as the MDA's purpose, to build infrastructure, highways, to boost the economics development of the Mindanao region. That's all.
Once again, good day to everyone. I am Glaizavanti Senyo, and I'm going to report the last part of our topic, which is the lesson learned and peace message. So, after World War II, the Philippine government is nahirapan sila na buuin ang United Nation. Isa sa pinakamalaking challenge is kung paano maiparamdam or maiparamdam sa Lumad at Moro na kabilang sila dito sa Pilipinas bilang isang mga Filipino. Kaya nga gumawa ang government ng mga agencies tulad ng CNI, Panamin, MDA para tulungan ang Mindanao, pero sa huli hindi ito naging matagumpay dahil nga may mga challenges din na kinakaharap ang mga ahensyang ito. Ang CNI ay kulang sila sa pondo, kaya hindi nito nagawa ng maayos ang mga responsibilidad nito tulad ng pagtatayo at pag-maintain ng mga public schools para sa Muslims at cultural minorities. Kahit na hinihikayat ng gobyerno ang mga Muslims na pumasok sa public schools, kulang naman ito sa suporta, kaya nagdulot ito ng disappointment at pagkawala ng tiwala. Nadagdagan pa ang problema dahil sa favoritism, corruption, at maling paggamit ng scholarship funds. Ang ahensyang Panamin na ginawa para suportahan ang CNI ay nagkaroon din sila ng problema sa mahinang sistema at kakulangan sa control, kaya nga nagamit sa mali ang mga resources. Samantalang ang ahensyang MDA is nakatuon lamang sila sa pag-akit ng mga foreign investors kaysa sa tumulong sa mga local communities. Kaya nga maraming proyekto nito na hindi isinasaalang-alang ang mga kultura at paniniwala ng mga Moro at Lumads. Kaya nga nagdulot ito ng alitan imbes na kaunlaran. Dahil sa mga problemang ito, hindi naging matagumpay ang integration program ng gobyerno. So inakala ng gobyerno na ang problema ng mga Moro is kahirapan lang at kakulangan ng serbisyo, pero hindi nila nabigyang pansin ang reliyon, kultura at kasaysayan ng mga ito. Dahil sa mindset na ito, na ganito, is nagkaroon ng galit at pagtutol. Kaya nga noong nangyari ang Jabida Massacre, is mabilis itong naging dahilan sa pag-usbong ng mga more secessionist movement noong 1970s na nagbanta sa pagkakaisa ng bansa. The peace message is that hindi sapat ang development lang para makamit ang kapayapaan. Kailangan ng respeto sa kultura, pakikinig sa boses ng komunidad, at higit sa lahat is tunay na malasakit para makamit ang pangmatagalang kapayapaan at pagkakaisa. So that's all. Thank you for listening, and once again, good day to everyone.